Hey guys, Brian delivers you the goods here. I'm returning to you tonight for a premiere video. I believe this video is going to premiere at exactly 5 a.m., so close to morning time, I guess you could say, for this review. This is for the Tuesday album review for Season 4, Episode 16. I'm making sure that it was the right one for Season 4, Episode 16. So that's why I was looking away at my notebook and all that. So yeah, this is for The Weeknd's second studio album, Beauty Behind the Madness, that I'm going to be reviewing for you guys for the 2015 album of his. So, I'm going to discuss what I listened to for all 14 songs off this 2015 album, Beauty Behind the Madness by The Weeknd, and let you know my thoughts on this album. So, let's dive into this album review. Now, this came out 7 years ago, and the runtime was like 65 minutes for this album, so it was pretty lengthy, but good lengthy. So, yeah, it starts with Real Life, and off the bat, I really like the start of this album. It's got pretty interesting production in this. Pretty much this whole album has pretty interesting production. Pretty good production, too. So, yeah, pretty good start for the album to kick off. And lyrically, I don't know if I'm on board with it, but it suits well with how he's approaching this track and all that. So, 5 out of 5 for Real Life. Losers featuring Labyrinth. It's a pretty strong track. Lyrically, not the best, but it is what it is, I guess. I'm still gonna defend this song because I do like the production in this track and some of the instrumentation in it with the trumpets and all that stuff, and certain saxophones and all that. The jazzy kind of feel for some of this and some of the production at the part where he says, "And you're qualified to round down," kind of thing, where it goes into that good beat for the song, for the chorus part of the track, before Labyrinth comes in and does his verse and all that. So basically, I'm going to defend this song and give it a 5 out of 5 because I enjoyed the aspect and the production in this track. It was pretty phenomenal. So next is Tell Your Friends, and lyrically, it's not very well written, but it's something, I guess. Um, it's a something track, so honestly, I'd have to give it like a 5 out of 5. I did enjoy it for what it went for. Lyrically, not really enjoying it too much, but I still like some of how The Weeknd is singing his verses and some of the chorus. Not the verses are great, but the chorus is where he shines a lot with his vocals. So 5 out of 5. I'll still defend the song despite its criticisms I have with it. Often, this one is decent. It's not my personal favorite. Um, I have my issues with this track because of sexualized lyrics, but I know that's what he goes for with his music, sexualized lyrics. So I can defend it to a degree, but if it gets overutilized too much where he keeps talking about it so much in his songs or whatever, then yeah, it's gonna kind of make me cringe a bit. So 4 out of 5 for Often. I think the beat's okay, but the way the lyrics are portraying itself just it's not interesting me. So The Hills is a solid one. I'll give it a 4.5 out of 5. I don't hate this track. I think some of the verses are pretty weak, but when the chorus comes in, it sounds pretty good with Abel singing in it. So yeah, The Weeknd did pretty solid in this track. It's good in its own way, but has weak verses. Acquainted was a pretty strong track. I like how it leads into the next track, which is Can't Feel My Face. Um, and that was a pretty phenomenal song. And it's made a lot of money from that track and revenue from that song, I guess you could say. So, because it was a pretty popular song and it was a hit for quite a while. So Acquainted, like I said, lyrically, I don't know if I'm on board with it, but I like how it's sounding with the production and the mixing in this track. So 5 out of 5. Can't Feel My Face is an instant banger with the pop banger kind of R&B stuff that he's going for with this track. So it sounds pretty nice and sounds pretty cool of a track. So and something to groove to as well. So 5 out of 5 for this one. Shameless was a more toned down acoustic slash electric guitar kind of song, and The Weeknd sounds really good singing in this track. Lyrically, I don't know if I like it too much with the "Who's Gonna Fuck You Like Me" lyric. I'm like, maybe could have done something with that lyric, but I guess that was the only way to do it. But still, good song, really good song for sure. I like how it's sounding overall. The chorus is where it really shines with Abel's vocals in the chorus. So 5 out of 5. Earned It. 50 Shades of Grey song was a pretty good song for sure. Um, Definitely recommend checking this track out if you haven't listened to it yet. For this album, Beauty Behind the Madness. Sorry, my pen was doing something weird for a moment. I put it out of its socket for a moment, this pen or whatever. So sorry about that. I kind of messed with it a bit too much. um, yeah, Earned It. Pretty strong track. Lyrically, I don't. I think it's pretty well done lyrically and melody wise sounds pretty good. So I'm not hating this track. So 5 out of 5. In the Night is a pop banger for sure. So really like this one. This song was a definite hit, and it was really good when I first heard it. I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna love this track." The chorus is so great in many ways. That in the night she hears me calling. In the night she's dancing to relieve the pain. Lyric. I really like how Abel is singing it with the raw emotion in this track. So 5 out of 5 for this one. As You Are is a pretty good one. It's more toned down and melodic, but with a mellow side to it, with the pop beat, the R&B kind of vibe you're getting from this track with Abel's approach to this song. So 5 out of 5. Dark Times featuring Ed Sheeran, pretty good track. They collabed pretty well together. Some moments in the track I don't know if I like, but other than that, um, lyrically it's alright and has its strong points and its sort of messy points, but at the end of the day, it does pretty well. I'm sorry about me yawning. It's just I'm gonna be going to bed pretty soon. So 5 out of 5. Prisoner featuring Lana Del Rey is a pretty good track, so 5 out of 5. Um, don't really have much complaints with it. Just Lana Del Rey does some talking at the end of the track, and it sounds weird, but it closes out the track pretty well with how it's sounding. The mixing of this track is pretty good. So whoever mixed this album did a really good job on this album. So yeah, 5 out of 5 for Prisoner. And finally, we come to the last song, Angel, which is such a beautiful song for sure. I really love this track. Probably hands down one of my favorite closing songs for his second album for sure. So 5 out of 5 for Angel, and it comes down to being one of the best songs of 2015 for sure. Or probably a contender for when that year happened, of course. So, uh, but that was 7 years ago, so still. Overall, production, mixing, and execution wise, I think The Weeknd Beauty Behind the Madness is a pretty good album. Um, there are a few nitpicks I have with my critiques about this album, with Often in the Hills being my least favorite songs and the weakest songs in my opinion. But other than that, the rest of the tracks, I know Losers and Tell Your Friends would probably be weaker songs for some other critics. But other than that, I think when it gets to Acquainted all the way to the end of the album, that's where the album starts to really kick off with the best tracks that he could really deliver and all that. So this is a really good album, or a pretty good album in its own way. So overall, I think The Weeknd Beauty Behind the Madness album, pretty good listen. Highly recommend you check it out. And first score for me, I'm giving Beauty Behind the Madness by The Weeknd an 8.5 out of 10. This was a pretty good listen, and definitely go check this album out. I know this is a long Tuesday album review, but I'm going to be wrapping it up soon, so comment below. Let me know what you guys thought of this lengthy Tuesday album review for The Weeknd, Beauty Behind the Madness, if you've listened to it. It came out 7 years ago, so I believe almost everyone's listened to it by now, because it's on streaming services right now, so yeah. But if you did enjoy this, sorry about the yawning, um, album review for The Weeknd Beauty Behind the Madness album, comment below and let me know your thoughts on it. Tap a like on this video if you liked it. Subscribe to my channel if you can. Support the channel. I'll have another review coming out most likely Wednesday for the Wednesday versus video, or it's like a Wednesday versus video, and then I'll have some actual reviews coming out for some new EPs. I know Weezer's dropping their Seasons Autumn on Wednesday, so I'll check that out. Unless it gets delayed, I don't freaking know. Honestly, I don't fucking know, honestly, but we'll just wait and see. But still, hope you enjoyed this album review for The Weeknd, Beauty Behind the Madness. I did the best I could to make this review as good as possible for this Tuesday album review. And it is premiering at 5 a.m., so definitely tune into this premiere video when you can. So until then, stay safe, take care guys, and as always, I will see you in my next review.